Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with woltersworld, and today we're in Ouro, Preto, Brazil. And today we're going to talk about are the 5 things that tourists love and hate about visiting Brazil. And I'm going to start with probably the biggest thing people don't like when they come to Brazil. It is the safety issues you do need to deal with when you do come here. Now, I'm not saying Brazil is an unsafe country, okay? There are plenty of safe places you can visit when you're here, like Ouro Preto. It's a fantastic place. Minas Gerais in general is a very safe state. You're going to be okay visiting with your family. But the thing is, you do need to take your safety in consideration when you come to Brazil. Notice in all my Brazil videos, I'm just wearing a t-shirt. I don't have a watch on. I'm not wearing any of my bling or anything like that. You want to make sure you're dressing down. And this isn't, oh, I'll just wear costume jewelry instead. No, they do not know the difference, okay? You just want to make yourself as nondescript as possible when you are here. Also, with the heat, you want to be comfortable too, right? But that's one of those things. Leaving the bling at home. If you're going to rent a car and go around the country, never leave anything in your car, okay? Never leave anything in your car. And if someone's saying, oh, you need to give me a few reals to watch your car, you better pay them, because there's no guarantee your car won't get broken into or anything bad will happen to it if you do pay them, but there's definitely probably something's gonna happen if you don't pay them, all right? So be aware of that. So if you're going around the country, you know, make sure you're locking your passport up and things in your hotel safe when you're there. If you're gonna be in Rio, don't be taking pictures all the time on the beach, because even the locals will come up to you and be like, yo, dude, put your phone away, all right? So you don't wanna have your stuff out very often, because not everyone's bad here. Everyone here, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna talk about the best thing about it is the people, but honestly, you just want to be smart with your safety when you're here. And other kind of smart thing is also the sun. Because when you come to Brazil, you think, okay, at the beach, I need to put sunblock on. But no matter if you're in the Pantanal and you're swimming with the jacaré, like alligators there, or fishing for piranha, or you're going through Bahia and taking in all the historical stuff here, or here in Minas Gerais in the colonial towns, that sun is beating down on you. Like I've already got 50 on me. I even sprayed I sprayed my head too. I've got it here. I'll put some more on later, but actually the sun can be very dangerous when you're here as well, especially in the Northeast in the summertime and the heat. You got to be careful. And also the safety of the bugs. No, it's not the Zika gonna get you kind of stuff. It's just there's a lot of mosquitoes and they like to eat you. So make sure you do bring like the wristbands and stuff and the bug repellent to make your life just a little bit easier, especially if you're going to go to the Amazon or the Pantanal kind of stuff to go explore more of the, nature ecotourism things, all right? Now, that's the big thing people don't like. Actually, that's the only really big hate I got to really talk about. But the thing is, when I talk about the loves, the thing I got to say that I love about Brazil, and the reason why I say it's my favorite place to go in the world when you speak Portuguese, it's the people and just the fun vibe you have when you're here. Brazilians, there's no one in the world that says, you know what, I don't want to go party with Brazilians, because you do, because they are such fun people. They're so kind, they're just so giving, but also let's all have a good time together. Then there's always music going, you have people enjoying life, people coming up to help you. I mean, it's just a really fun place with really fun people, and they're super accepting as well when you're here. And that's one thing I love about Brazil, is just everybody is welcome here, and you can have that, and people will be welcoming to you, whether you're here in Minas Gerais or you're going to Maceió in the Northeast, or you're going to you're going to Santa Catarina in the South. Like, you just have so many wonderful people and such a wonderful people experience. That's why when people ask you, where do I love to travel the most? It's Brazil. Because of the people and that just kind of party vibe when you're here. Because whether you're going to the clubs or the baladas in Sao Paulo, or you're going to dance to the streets in Bahia, I mean, you're just gonna have a great time when you're here because of the people and that fantastic vibe. And the thing is, I used to live in Brazil, and I come back all the time with my family to visit, and I actually have an exchange student family here that really is important to me. And it's just the love you feel when you're here and the people you meet just make this country so wonderful. Now, the second thing you're going to hate about coming to Brazil is just getting around Brazil. What you have to realize is Brazil is enormous. It is a huge country. I mean, they have states that are bigger than countries. And that means you're taking the bus to get around. It takes hours. Like, I've been on 20-hour bus rides before to get between places. Now, what's cool is you got airlines like Gol and Azul that will fly you around the country at a relatively decent price, so you can get around to these places easier that way instead of being in the bus a lot. But if you're going to go to small towns, like you fly into Belo Horizonte, it's like a 2.5-hour drive from here. You're on that bus, the winding roads get to be enough. I mean, I took the bus from Sao Paulo to Belo Horizonte years ago, and it's just a long, long, long bus ride. And the thing is, if you buy the wrong bus ticket, it can be even longer, because there are different levels of buses sometimes. So make sure you look around, and you might see some that are a little bit nicer. So you might get Wi-Fi on there, you might get a snack, you might get comfy chairs, or other times it's literally like sitting on a bench for 9 hours straight, and that can be something. But also getting around Brazil, if you're going to be driving around, the traffic in the big cities, like Sao Paulo. I lived in Sao Paulo. It didn't matter what I was doing. It took me an hour and a half to get anywhere. Oh, I gotta go 10 blocks, hour and a half. I gotta cross an hour and a half. It just was always an hour and a half to get anywhere. And that traffic is very frustrating with the moto boys and the guys on the motorcycles going by. It is one of those things you do get a little scared when you are driving around or being driven around. So do be aware of that, okay? Because honestly, the driving here, it scares me. But the thing is, if you're going to be going around this country, one of the big reasons why you go around is the second thing you're going to love, and that is the nature in Brazil. It is gorgeous. I'm here in Ouro Preto, in Minas Gerais, and yes, I have these beautiful churches, but also I have this beautiful countryside I can go to as well. You know, people talk about going to the Amazon, and it is gorgeous going to the Amazon and seeing it come together, and the dolphins going by. It's great. But also you go to the Pantanal and go see this kind of swamplands there and go fishing for piranha that you eat, or swimming with the jacaré, or floating actually with the jacaré, the alligators that are there. The animals, the flora, the fauna that's here, it's just gorgeous when you go throughout the country. It's in such a big country. You have a lot of different topographies to enjoy when you're here, a lot of ecosystems. And sometimes enjoying the nature is just going to the beaches, because the beaches here are beautiful. It's not just the bundas walking by. No. The beaches themselves here in Brazil are great. You talk to people in Chile, they've got a whole huge coastline. They come to Brazil to have their beach vacations because you got good water, you got beautiful beaches, great food. I mean, it's just one of those things which really helps you enjoy this country, and that nature is just fantastic, okay? Now let's go to a thing that I really hate about Brazil, and that is the bad press that Brazil gets. You remember back when the World Cup was coming here and the Olympics was going to Rio, and everyone was like, oh, you're robbed, and you're going to get Zika, and then you're going to get killed, and then you're going to get robbed again, and then you're going to turn into a Zika zombie, and oh, it's so bad. And everyone's like, oh, I'm getting no. Like, it was amazing how many travel vloggers, bloggers, major news organizations will just crap on Brazil. This country is fantastic. The people are wonderful. The food is great. All this nature stuff, and people give it such bad press. Yes, there are safety issues, but you know what? Look at your hometown. Look at your home country. Aren't there some safety issues there too? Yeah, but if you know how to avoid it, you put yourself in better chance of having a good time. But I really get upset. I really hate the kind of online press that Brazil gets, and it's not fair, because there's countries do way worse things and have worse things happen there that nobody talks about. But you got Brazil, which you have such wonderful people. You got such wonderful nature, so much to enjoy here that they really get crapped on. That's why I hate the coverage that Brazil gets. I mean, this country is fantastic for everybody. LGBTQ families can come here and enjoy their vacation without getting harassed. I mean, that's one of those things that I think Brazil doesn't get enough good press about, the things that are wonderful about Brazil. So if you're a travel blogger and you're dissing on Brazil, please stop. Talk about some good stuff too, all right? Because this country is fantastic. I mean, honestly, one of the parts I had to put this hate as this is because it's so hard for me to figure out some hates about coming to Brazil, aside from the safety thing, okay? But honestly, there's that. But I've mentioned this food thing a few times, so I got to talk about it. My third love of coming to Brazil and tourists love out here is the food. And what's amazing, since it's such a big country, you have different foods in different parts of the country. You like meat, you know, you want to go to the Brazilian rodizio, the Brazilian steakhouse, where they come around, they cut the meat off for you, and they give it to you, the picanha. Oh, a little bit of fat on them, so good. Chicken hearts, all kinds of stuff. Oh, just so you know, you can turn the red-green thing, you can turn it to red to stop them bringing you meat, and then you can turn it back when you're ready to eat again, okay? But the meats, and if you really want the meat, that's the South. The South's really good with the beef there, but you can get it around the country. Then you come to Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo, do you get good Japanese food there? Yeah, tons of Japanese immigration, Italian immigration, Lebanese immigration, so great international food there. Or you're coming here to Ouro Preto in Minas Gerais, and honestly, comida mineira, the food from here in the Minas region, is the best food in Brazil. Even the locals will tell you. Even people out in Brazil will be like, yo, comida mineira is like the best, especially in some small village kind of stuff, because you'll have things like the pão de queijo, which is from here originally. You get it all over the country. You get tropeiro, which is basically every Brazilian tastiness put together. You have that. I mean, the food here is just unbelievable in Minas, but throughout the country, the snacks you can get, like I said, the pão de queijo, little cheese balls you get, coxinha de frango, imagine like shredded chicken in a breading and then fried, and you eat it with the hot sauce. It's so good. Or if you head to Bahia, you get acarajé, which is like, imagine a bean paste Brazilian taco with shrimp in it and dingo. It's so good. Like, the food you're gonna love, but not just the food, the drinks as well. Have your cachaça, yeah, the local spirit. Make yourself a caipirinha. You'll muddle sugar and lime together, put some ice in there, then you pour the cachaça in there, stir it up. Heaven, super strong, so be careful, but yeah, you can't go wrong. Or if you meet the locals, they give you some pinga that's been flavored with some herbs or some fruit or something. Oh, so many great things to have when you're here. Guaraná, the soda you want to have when you're here. It's very caffeinated, so heads up if you're going to give it to your kids. But honestly, or maybe you want to sleep tonight. I think I had one this morning, if you can't tell, you know. But Guaraná is so good. But there's so many great foods and great fruit as well. Like, you're gonna eat so many fruits you've never even seen before or heard of before. So if you get a chance to go to markets, go to the markets and try stuff. We always go to the Sao Paulo market when we're there, the municipal market, and we go in and we're just trying all these different fruits and stuff like never seen before. I'm like, sure, I'll try it. Why not? But honestly, the food experience when you're here and the food experience of eating with Brazilians is so much fun that it's just one of the parts that goes into it. The food and the family and the people, just the vibe of it all. You'll love it. But the thing is, you notice I said earlier, Brazil's my favorite place to visit if you speak Portuguese. And that's one of the things you might not like about coming here. Like, I literally tell people, they ask me, Mark, what's your favorite country to visit? I say, for me, Brazil is the greatest country to visit because I speak Portuguese. If you don't speak Portuguese, it's a nice place to visit. And that's the thing, because it just, speaking Portuguese, be able to communicate with the locals really brings so much more out of the country that if you don't speak it, it's still a great place to go, but it's not as wonderful. And that's why it's important to know at least some basic words, because it's not Spanish here, it's Portuguese. So remember, thank you is obrigado. I want, eu quero. Quero, I want, quero, right? Where is? Onde está? Onde está? You know? Sorry, my Brazilian friends watching this. I lived in Portugal, so I've kind of a Portuguese accent. But it is one of those things, you got to know some Portuguese when you're here because it will make a big difference in that experience. That's why it's something tourists aren't super happy about. And then let's switch back to a thing you're going to love. And I would say the colonial cities throughout Brazil are gorgeous, okay? Specifically here in Minas Gerais, you've got Ouro Preto, okay, where the mines were. You've got Mariana, which is nearby. You've got Tiradentes, which, you know, historical regions. You've got Congonhas with the church and the Passions of the Christ we have. But all these colonial towns and colonial architecture you'll see. You go to Bahia. Go to Bahia and go to Salvador Bahia. You're there and you see the architecture with it. But the colonial architecture, it's just gorgeous to take in. And then learning about the history of Brazil, like in Praia de Galinhas, that's a very educational thing when you start learning about the slave history, the enslaved people history of Brazil is like, whoa, like that's not cool. But like learning the history of Brazil and the colonial towns when you're visiting the architecture, that part is cool though, right? And then I want to talk about something that a lot of tourists mention they don't like. And if you ever travel to Central and South America, you know this is kind of a normal thing, but it's the bathroom situation. Plain and simple. A lot of times when you're in Brazil, when you wipe, you throw it in the bin next to the toilet, not into the toilet, because the pipes can't handle it. So that's one thing you got to realize. And you'll see signs in more tourist areas saying, put it in the bin, not in the toilet. Someplace you can, but not everywhere. So make sure you're aware of that, especially in rural areas. Also, the one thing that might scare you, it's not necessarily a hit, but a scare, is when you see the electric showers. Now, I'm not talking like the fancy electric showers they put in there. I'm talking about an electric shower where literally it's attached to the head of the shower and then there's a cord that's plugged into the wall next to the shower. And you're like, am I going to die when you're taking a shower? Now, there's a lot less these days, but if you're going to be going to like some of the more remote areas or more remote beach places, you might have those electric showers that are literally plugged into the wall, which scares some people. And then I want to say this, my biggest love of Brazil, and this is one thing that you all can't enjoy. She was a wonderful woman. So I lived in Brazil. I live with a family, Gio and Berta. Like I call my Brazilian mom and dad, still talk to them all the time. I talk to Gio all the time, but like my biggest love, and one of the reasons why I love Minas so much and I love Brazil so much is because of Berta. Berta was my host mom here. She was so wonderful. Taught me Portuguese. Fed us the best food ever. Wonderful woman. She passed away recently and still breaks my heart. She was one of the nicest people. You hear her. She was the life of the party. She's one of the reasons why I love Brazil so much. And I hope you meet someone as special as her when you're here, because Berta is wonderful. And she's the thing I love the most about being here in Brazil, because she really represents the people, the food, the culture, the fun. She was everything that Brazil is, and that's why. And that's one of the reasons I get so upset when people badmouth Brazil, because they got such great people here and so much to enjoy that it really hurts when I think about wonderful people like her that get crapped on by bloggers, vloggers, and the news that never even come to Brazil and just say, oh, don't go there, it's horrible. Because this place is wonderful. I love it. Giro is still around. You know, I love him. Lou, my brother here. Massimo, Anita, my family here in Brazil. I love him so much. And that's one thing I want you to do. I just want you to come and enjoy this country because it's so great. Sorry about that. But honestly, what are the things you love and hate about coming to Brazil? Please put it down in the comments below so we can have other travelers enjoy this fantastic, fabuloso country of Brazil.